aren't just fortunate to win this ball game, actually. The Jazz Grizzlies probably outplayed the Jazz for as many minutes as the Jazz outplayed the Grizzlies. Jazz were dominant in the first half, 60-50, and the Grizzlies outplayed the Jazz for the entire second half of this game, and Memphis pulled it off. We'll talk about what the Jazz pulled it off. We'll talk about what the Grizzlies did and what to expect tomorrow when these two teams go back at it. It should be really interesting. This is POSTCAST. POSTCAST is brought to you by Grip 6 Belts, the Utah company that makes the best belts with no flaps, no holes, no garbage. It's just the most comfortable belt out there. I'm wearing mine right now, but you don't want to know. My honeycomb belt, in fact, you can go to grip6.com and get the promo code LOCKED on to get 15% off. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends over at Biograss, thebigyellowbag.com. They'll get you a discount on a cubic foot, $40 discount at a bigyellowbag.com to make your gardening the most beautiful thing out there. All right, the Grizzlies are tough. I mean, they're not a good half-court offensive team. You've got to keep them in the half-court. The Jazz generally did that in the first half, as the Grizzlies spent 16% of their possessions in the first half in the half-court. But by the end of the night, the Grizzlies had spent 20% of their possessions in transition, which is really, really high. If you just kind of do the math on that, that means that they were 24% of their possessions in the second half were in transition. The Jazz did exactly what we thought we would do. The Jazz are the number one half-court defense. The Grizzlies are the 28th ranked half-court offense. The Grizzlies' half-court offense was in the 17th percentile. Thank you to cleaning the glass of these numbers today, as they had 83.8 points per play. It's exactly how we thought this game would play. But Ja Morant is that fast and that electric. And what happened a little bit is that the Jazz half-court offense wasn't very good, and they started taking bad shots, and every time they took a bad shot, the game ran back the other way on them. The Jazz ended up tonight 7 of 28 on non-restricted area twos. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I am pretty certain that is going to be the most non-restricted area twos. I'm pulling it up, that the Jazz have taken this entire season. 28 is an obscene number of non-restricted area twos for the Jazz to take in a ball game. In fact, doing a quick scan in paint non-restricted area this year, the Jazz had not taken more than 10 non-restricted area twos in. That can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, that was just in the first quarter. All right, see if I can reset this. I'm sure they've taken at least double figures. That was just in the first quarter of games. That would have been crazy if that was true. But they disrupted the Jazz offense. Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley ended up just taking floater after floater. Donovan actually scored almost all of his actions tonight off other people getting him the ball. It'll be really interesting to look at Donovan's numbers tonight when he's on the floor with Joe Ingles or Mike Conley versus when he was on the floor by himself, because I think the offense really struggled when he was on the floor by himself in tonight's ball game. The most non-restricted area twos the Jazz took, they took 25 against the Pelicans, 22 against the Warriors, 20 against the Bucks, 24 against the 76ers. It's the same in 30 against the Clippers in a loss to the Clippers. So it's the second most they've taken in any game. It's in 27 against Washington. When teams just sit at the rim, the Jazz guards have got to keep the dribble alive and come all the way through and not get caught into that floater zone. It's just not an efficient shot. It's exactly the shot they want them to take. And then when they miss the shot, what ends up happening is you're going the other way in a completely wide open way. Mike Conley, and they're running. Mike Conley was 1 of 5 tonight on those. Donovan Mitchell tonight was 3 of 9 on non-restricted area twos. Jordan Clarkson tonight on non-restricted area twos was 1 of 5. It's an inefficient shot. When you miss, you're sucked in, and they run the other way, and the Grizzlies walk the Jazz into that shot all night long. And if the Jazz don't have an answer for that tomorrow, they're going to lose. That's kind of my feeling on this. The one thing that happened tonight that's a little unusual is the Grizzlies went 12 of 30 from 3. They're not a particularly good three-point shooting team, so they probably made 1 or 2 threes they don't usually make. The Jazz got a good outing from Bojan Bogdanovic. He was 8 of 15 for 17 points. Donovan had 35. what the Jazz did is they moved their pick and roll to the sides, got Rudy some really nice dunks and some action in that tonight. And Rudy ended up having 25 points tonight. Mike Conley, 2 of 13. Jordan Clarkson, 4 of 13. Let's go to the questions. Tough and nail fought game. Why did Memphis change? Well, I think Joseph, great question. I think I just tried to give you an idea. The first thing they did is they just kind of blew up our offense, did a better job. They took away our threes. We weren't making threes at all. We went 2 of 11 in the second quarter, 2 of 9 in the third quarter from 3. In the middle quarters, we were 4 of 20 from 3. And in the fourth quarter tonight, on the 3-point shots, we ended up shooting 4 of 6. Thank goodness that got us the win on this ball game. Donovan Mitchell with 2 catch-and-shoot threes off set plays at the top. As I said, Donovan, it feels like, got most of his points off other people's action. Josh, Jenkins is a really, really good coach. Jazz only had 33-point attempts with that scheme. It's great. It's a great point. He just hugged to the shooters, didn't allow the Jazz to get 3-point looks. Every time a Jazz player got it, there was someone on him. They had to put on the deck and drive. The blender very rarely got going. You only got it going early. You're going to have to. It's interesting. What transition basketball has become in the NBA is 3 guys spacing to the 3-point line so that nobody can close out enough and you can get 3-point looks early in that game. That's what running in the NBA is, and the Jazz are going to have to get to that tomorrow. Good win. Memphis plays hard. Got to bring it tomorrow. Mitchell's on a roll. Yes, he's averaging 33 points over the last 5 games. He's been quite fabulous. Donovan absolutely. Donovan had 35 tonight on that. Man, from YouTube, man, Jaws for real. That took us in transition. Lucky to get away with that one, says Adam Garner. Yeah, I mean, Jaws coming at you, and then he was finishing at the rim, and he's so quick. It's pretty awesome. Ryan, thought the difference in the game was the overall effort on defense. There was a play in the fourth quarter. JC got knocked down. Mike switched to his man. JC hurried and got up, found the open man and challenged and missed 3. Hustle plays won this for us. Okay, I'll go with that. It feels good. Taylor, when Rudy and Conley checked out in the second quarter, Joe was in the locker room. I thought that Bogey, Don, Royce Clarkson, and Favors played that stretch really well. That in the third quarter, though, the lineup that kind of saved us all year is the lineup that saved us on that. Sorry, I apologize for that. That's a little tweet text from my daughter telling me she's beating me in our golf matchup this week. She's very excited about that. She's not going to miss a boat to tell me that she's beating her dad. I promise you that. Despite the team's second half struggle, Donovan looks as confident as ever in those last few stretchful minutes. Good sign. Donovan's playing the game easy right now. He's just been great. He's playing the game easy. He's playing in control. He's been absolutely fabulous. Let's go to Twitch. And Osti 801, what stopped them from getting the rim? Memphis, you as a defense, you can generally take away the rim. There's a phrase in the league that is a defense dictates how many shots you get at the rim, and an offense dictates how many threes you take. And that's a pretty truthful entity. Now, they got us a little bit both ways tonight. We only took 33 threes, and we didn't get to the rim. We took that dang floater all night long. And we've got to get all the way to the rim. They've got Valanciunas. If you watch the game tomorrow, I don't think they'll change it. Literally, Valanciunas and Brandon Clark are standing in the restricted area the whole possession. It's really hard to go through a big 7'1" Lithuanian guy and get to the rim when they don't want to get you there. So I think that's that. Jazz need to stop thinking big leads will convince teams to fold their tents. Adam, I'm not there tonight. I don't feel like the Jazz let off the gas tonight. I thought Memphis put the gas on. I thought Memphis really dictated that period of the game, and then the Jazz had to hold on. It's a good win for the Jazz. Bogey and JC got their games back. Rudy and Donovan are great today. Jordan Clarkson was 4 of 13 and 2 of 7 from 3. I hope that is not his game back. I would hope we get something else. But Brad says, nice to see Clarkson get settled in there at the end. He hit a shot, right? He hit 2 threes or 1? He hit 2 threes late. I thought his streak was going to come to an end. What are the offensive and defensive numbers for the Jazz in the second half? I don't think that's up yet. Overall, this was not a good offensive night or defensive night. We allowed a 118. It was a very good offensive night. So even though we were good in the half court, what ended up happening is we allowed 20% of the game in transition, and we're not good in transition. We ranked 19th and 18th in the NBA in transition defense, and that was a part of it. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It should be really fun to watch these guys go head-to-head another night. Jazz and the Wolves. Say goodbye to Ron Boone, everybody. Nice puffy jacket, Ron. It's your first ever puffy coat? This was the first ever fully vaccinated broadcast in Utah Jazz history.